we're back again. It's the Main Street Randyland YouTube channel. You lucky people, you. Hooray, hooray! We're over here at Randyland. We were just walking by, and something popped out at my camera guy. He's like, well, what is that on the screen? Well, what is he talking about? Well, there's a row of video games over here. And he looked in and he said, is that a video game? Because it's not turned on, but he sees like it's got some kind of sticker on it. Well, believe it or not, kids, there was a time when video monitors were not color. You know what's incredible? I speak to a lot of people, a lot of young people on the boardwalk. I have had people tell me that they have never seen anything, movie or television, in black and white. Never in their life. How is that possible? I mean, they still run a lot of the old classic, TV shows, The Honeymooners, I Love Lucy. They've never heard of them. They've never seen them. They've never heard of them. They've never seen anything filmed in black and white. But there was a time that we only had black and white. You see, I'm old. Yes, I know, I don't necessarily look it, but I'm old. One of my friends from Bulgaria used to say when he would speak to me, you're as old as the pyramids. Well, I'm not quite that old, but to him I was. And I used to have only a black and white TV. We didn't have color at home. And then at one point, my family got a color console for the living room. But any other TV in the house was black and white. And yes, video games, when they first came out, even though there were color televisions, video games started black and white. And this is a black and white game. So what did they do to get color? They put a translucent piece of vinyl on the picture tube. That's actually the picture tube. And if we can look in there, you see on the top, see the blue? See in the corner there where you see the regular tube? You see blue going across the top. Down the side, it's green. On the bottom, it's green, but then around the bottom is regular picture tube, and on the right is regular picture tube. In the middle, it's red with pictures of flames. Well, you guys are so spoiled today. Everything is so crisp on your video screen. You play video games, everything's got every detail. You can see the freckles on the guy's face. When you shoot the men, they burst into blood and guts, and you see it all splash on the other guy. There was no technology like that. Video games were very blocky, block diagrams. So they couldn't make a flame look like that. You see, with the technology back then, it would have been very square and big blocks and squares. So they couldn't make a fancy flame. So they made squares kind of in that pattern that would light it up. So when the image appeared on the screen, it lit up the particular flame, that flame, this flame, that flame, probably multiple flames. And that was part of the game. Now this is a Meadows Inferno. And you're not going to see very many Meadows Inferno machines out there. Why? Because Meadows wasn't one of the big companies that made lots and lots of different video games, and they only made a few. And Inferno was one of their models, and it's a very desirable piece of equipment because of its rarity. Now you'll see the outside part around the monitor is cardboard, and it is done with artwork, and a lot of times these bezels will get destroyed. They'll get ripped, they'll get torn, by mechanics over the years working on the machine, doing whatever they're doing. And over the years, that cardboard becomes fragile, and you tear it very easily. And this one is pristine, absolutely pristine. Now, the glass has dirt on it. That's actually some kind of probably a mold that has grown on the inside. And it's plastic. It is not glass. It is plexiglass, so it's more susceptible to growing mold. But you could take that out, probably by taking this molding off or some other means. Now, it looks like I could get it out easier by lifting this this lay down with the joysticks off, but I'm sure it's secured from underneath, probably with latches or screws. And then when this comes back, I'd be able to lift the plastic out of that molding. What's on top of the machine, interestingly enough, look at that. You have a little red light. You see that? And there are two of them. There's one on the other side. And they're still intact. They're not broken or anything. For collectors, that's gold. Just gold. The joysticks, they're functioning. You hear that? They used micro switches instead of contact blades on those joysticks. Is this pretty loose? Is this loose too? No, this one's tightened on that side. This one's loose on this side. All right, well down here, of course, I don't have the right key for it, so I can't open the coin door, and it is in locked position. But the bottom part, it looks like it's almost not closed properly. Now, I would think that would go in more, and I would bet that if it's not locked, this will slide out, but it might be locked from the inside. Maybe if I put some weight off of it. Look. Oh, geez whiz. Oh, come on. Nope. You know what? That might be a step. But I gotta tell you, if that's a step, it is a step. It is a step. I don't know why they would put a step on a video game like that. That's kind of very unusual. But it is a sliding step, believe it or not, because I can see behind it, there's no access in. So the sliding step would come out, and now I can't get it back in again. Maybe if I get some weight off of it. There it goes. No little kid is pulling that out, I'll tell you that. But I guess little kids, instead of standing on a box, could stand on it. Sometimes manufacturers will actually have the computer boards in an access hatch in the front. Makes it easier for the operator who's working on the machine. But obviously this one doesn't. It's a step. So access is from the back on the Meadows Inferno. And look at this. All the text is still intact here. It's not worn off with people's hands. I never ran this game. This machine was not in one of my arcades. I got this from a friend of mine who ran an arcade in Wildwood. How do I know? Please, no Canadian coins. And it says it again down here. Please, no Canadian coins. Because Wildwood always had a large amount of people who came from Canada. And the Canadian people would come with pocket change, and they had quarters. Well, you put a quarter in a machine. Canadian quarter is the same size as an American quarter, but they're not made of the same material. And the coin mechanisms would stop them. They're magnetic. They would get stuck, and then the machine is jammed, and a lot of times you can't get them out with the coin return. So during the 70s particularly, many machines and arcades had signs on them, please, no Canadian coins, for that reason. But this is a neat game. Ladder up, ladder down, truck to the right, truck to the left. So I guess it's a two-player. And somehow or another, you're I guess, racing to put out the Inferno. And you got a button on the top here, or I guess you're shooting water. Meadows Inferno. Now, I know I'm going to get people messaging me wanting to buy my Meadows Inferno because they know how rare and collectible the machine is. Well, unless you're going to offer a nice big chunk of change that would be tempting enough to try to buy my Meadows Inferno, there's likely not much possibility of that. But if you come up with the big bucks, maybe. But then how would I get it out of here? I don't know. I guess it would have to be a cash and carry thing, and you'd have to carry it yourself. With that, I'll leave you. And I'm going to see if I can get into the back at some point and see if I can play with my Meadows Inferno. Bye, guys. Main Street Randyland YouTube channel. Don't forget to press the subscribe and the notification bell. What's the matter with you? You should have done that long ago. See you later.